Hello, everyone. Welcome back. So, I realize the topic of today's solo episode doesn't really match my look at the moment because I am wearing no makeup and giving my skin a bit of a break. But, you guys, something I didn't expect after stepping away from teaching Pilates is how much it affected how I show up for myself. So you guys know I've been mentioning that I've been unhappy with teaching for quite a while now, and I have finally stepped into myself and found the courage to slowly start letting go of classes. And I am at the point where I am down to one online and one in-person class, which is making me very happy. But when I was teaching, I always had somewhere to be. I was always on a mission, mind always switched on, you know, and I sort of made an effort, but I mean, how much effort can you make throwing on workout clothes? So my go-to look was always, for the last 13 years, a little bit of BB cream, tinted moisturizer, powder, gloss, and off I go, because you do not try and attempt wearing mascara. Well, I can't wear mascara because I always have this terrible black line at the end of the day. Anyway, so yes, it was always bare minimal, but then you teach and you spend your whole day in that exercise clothes. You're just stuck in it. And in the beginning, I remember I would teach in the mornings, get home, change again, afternoons to go teach again. But it got to a point where I got tired of changing and I would stay in my exercise clothes the whole bloody day. And it became my personality. And I remember there was this period where people were like, you can't be seen in your exercise clothes in shops. Like, oh my goodness. And I got to a point before this whole trend started off, leggings is a thing now to wear out and about in the shops, but I just didn't care. I was like, this is my work and I'm not judging you for coming to the shops in a suit, am I? But I realized that I actually started missing. I miss dressing up. I miss making a bit of an effort when it comes to my appearance. And I know what they say. I'm also a firm believer. If you're having a down day, pop on a nice lipstick, a bit of mascara, and a bit of blush, and you'll feel it 10 times better. But I've realized that without the structure, it's so easy to just let go. You just don't care. I mean, my external routine was exercise clothes, but it turned into less motivation at the end of the day. Because I was in corporate for 6 years before I started teaching Pilates. And in corporate, you have to look a certain way. You need to look presentable. And I had a routine, and I've come to the conclusion, you guys, that I am made for routine. I thrive off of routine, and I've mentioned it here before. And in the corporate world, although I don't ever want to go back to corporate, it was wake up, you would either squeeze in a gym session before you go to the office or directly from work straight to gym, and then home, do dinner and do your thing and wind down. So you had a nice routine, and I always had time and the thing I started missing the most was that time for myself in the mornings or the afternoons to exercise. I miss going to classes or joining classes because all the class times are during the times that I was teaching. So it became difficult, and the further with each year that passed, I realized how much less time I started, not only on my appearance, but on my physical appearance as well, where it just became too much. And it got even worse after having kids, where I just I didn't. I was always tired, always running after the kids. And I just got to a point where just even squeezing in a 10-minute walk was not on my to-do list. And it's sad to think that you get to that point where you finish teaching you a class. And I remember getting to that point. I would get home, look at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, does it even matter to change? And a lot of times people would ask me, "But why don't you just change? Or are you going to stay in your exercise clothes the whole day?" It's just like, yes, but why not? It wasn't, it wasn't even about looking good to change. I just realized I was feeling a bit disconnected with myself. And in times like that, it's so important to find a little support group, whether it's a coach or a friend or a family member, to reach out to and open up to them to help you almost gently nudge you back towards yourself. I realized a lot of times over the last few years when I started to get when that spark started to fade a bit when it came to teaching, that I really missed dressing up every day and making myself look pretty, not only just for myself, but for my husband as well, you guys. Yes, you never do anything in life for someone else, always do it for you. But it is nice. Come on, you guys. It's nice to hear from your partner, "You look beautiful today." We need those. And it just, I started clicking that I don't need a reason to make an effort because I am the reason. I started feeling that shift majorly after letting go of two of my groups that I was teaching that played a big role in my life and who I love to death. But I just I couldn't show up for them the way they deserved anymore. And that's why I I decided to stop teaching. And I mean, I always said, yeah, the great thing is no one can ever take this knowledge that I've gained and experience away from me. I mean, it's 13 years of my life. No one can ever take that away from me. So if in 5 or 10 years, maybe even, my life feels a little bit more settled and calm, especially with the kids being a lot older and in 10 years' time, almost finished with school, maybe I'll return to teaching. But now I'm at a point where I've lost myself completely within Pilates, that I'm excited to find myself again outside of Pilates. And that's a scary step to take. And anyone in this industry will agree with me. It's a big change, but it's an exciting change. So, like I said, today might not look like I made an effort because, well, yes, today just was one of those days where I just wanted to give my skin a break. And I've got a tennis lesson in the afternoon, so there was no use in washing my hair this morning just to rewash it again tonight after my lesson. But I'm making those small steps, small changes. Like when we do go for dinner or to an evening, to actually blow dry my hair a bit myself. Or wearing makeup more than just once a week, but at least 2, 3 times a week now. And choosing outfits with intention that make me feel confident and pretty. Another thing I realized is I have no idea what my style is anymore. I've completely lost that because I've been in such a phase for as long as I can remember of florals and bright colors. And I realized that I'm not into it. I'm more about the simple, like dial it down a bit version of Johlet at the moment, which is okay, because just I think I'm seeing myself as this blank canvas now that I'm recreating, and that's exciting. So yes, now that I teach less and some mornings, okay, I only teach 2 mornings a week now, but the other mornings I start my morning slower, which with the kids, which is amazing. There's no rush, no shouting. Well, a lot less shouting, let me rather put it that way, because is there ever no shouting when it comes to small kids getting ready for school? But it's a lot slower. I actually have time to make them some pancakes some mornings or bake muffins. And look, we are late for school at least 80% of the time. But I don't have that pressure of being like, can you guys just listen? Because I need to leave for my class. I can't leave a minute past this time or I'll be late. And I drop them off at school, come home, squeeze in a workout, have a shower, and actually get dressed to start my day. I get dressed looking like an actual sort of put together wife, mother, entrepreneur. Because effort equals self-respect, not pressure. And I think that's what happened. I was so focused on always showing up for my clients and being there for them and being the best teacher to them that I've lost respect for myself. And yeah, my effort always had a purpose. Like I said, my clients was my everything at one point, and that's why, yeah, like I said, I'm stepping away because I want to show up for my kids and my husband and for myself first and foremost. I mean, it's exciting, uh, but I'm learning that I get to be that reason for myself. And it might sound a little bit selfish or not, actually. I think that's our problem as women. We always think that the moment we want to do something for ourselves, that it's selfish. And it's not. We need to